Hello, my name is Tony Dong. Is Zendaya playing Mary Jane in Spider-Man Homecoming? Her role is mysterious in true Marvel Cinematic Universe fashion. There's been a lot of mystery surrounding the plot points and details of Spider-Man Homecoming. But no rumor has been as pervasive as whether or not Zendaya plays Mary Jane Watson in Spider-Man Homecoming. Well, we finally have the answer. Major spoilers ahead, and can definitively say that Zendaya is not playing Mary Jane, but she is playing MJ. Confused? Here's the deal. For a majority of the movie, Zendaya's character is known as Michelle, not Mary Jane, but when she settles into a leadership role on the academic decathlon team, she tells Peter and his friends, "My friends call me MJ." And there you have it. Zendaya is playing MJ in Spider-Man Homecoming. She's just twist. Not named Mary Jane. The fact that Zendaya plays MJ in Homecoming is not entirely unexpected. When the actor officially announced she would be joining the MCU in March of 2016, the powers that be were curiously tight-lipped about her character, but most immediately jumped to the conclusion that, as the first young female cast member to be announced, she would be playing a potential love interest for Peter Parker. A few months later, the Wrap reported that a source on set had confirmed Zendaya was playing MJ, aka Mary Jane Watson, arguably Peter Parker's most beloved love interest, but the actor denied the reports, telling MTV News, "My character is 100% Michelle. That's her name. I promise I'm not lying." Technically, Zendaya was not lying when she said she wasn't playing Mary Jane, but, for the sake of simplicity, let's just assume that MJ is the same love interest character. The only thing Homecoming tweaked was the first name on her birth certificate. Granted, this new MJ is very different from the MJS we've seen before, specifically the Mary Jane from the original Spider-Man trilogy, as played by Kirsten Dunst. In Spider-Man 2002, MJ was more of a popular girl, an aspiring actor who dated Harry Osborn and played the role of the girl next door, the person Peter was hopelessly in love with. In Homecoming, Michelle MJ isn't interested in being friends with Peter, she's just his classmate, him babysitting the disembodied head of Silverman, which is shown above. It's hilarious and one of the few series that gives readers an inside look into the world of villainy. If you're looking for more stories involving Shocker, check these comics out. Superior Foes of Spider-Man. Not only is it one of Marvel's best and weirdest books of the 21st century, it's a great comedy and a heist comic. This was a 12-issue miniseries, available in trade. Origin of the species. The villains in Spider-Man's life are after the Green Goblin's child. Takes place in Amazing Spider-Man 642,647. Spider-Man Homecoming is out now. You can check out our review here. You can also learn more about characters and elements in the film by checking out. Thank you for watching. For the follow-up, subscribe to the channel yourself here. What is a frustrated teenager to do, except hang out with his Lego-building best friend Jacob Batalon, stare moonily at his schoolmate Laura Harrier, and produce more gloopy stuff, with a flick of the wrist, than he knows what to do with? To be honest, Spider-Man is not the natural enemy of tools. Has more of a fellow grump. They should join forces, not fight. Peel away the standard Marvel palaver, including a confused and redundant climax in mid-air, and what impels Spider-Man Homecoming is the politics of the pist. Is a venerably, if you prefer, styled tradition whereby older or more seasoned performers are slipped into superhero films to lend them gravity and heft. But what do these senior souls get out of the deal? What was in for Willem Dafoe Green Goblin in the earlier Spider-Man films, Jeff Bridges Ironmonger in Iron Man, or Michael Douglas the bearded sage in Ant-Man, aside from a turbo-boosted paycheck? Things are different, however, with Michael Keaton on the case, for one practical reason. 28 years ago, Long before he became the rusty grouch of Spider-Man Homecoming, he was a superhero, too. His was the mouth that pursed so tight below the rubber hood in Tim Burton's Batman, and throughout the new film, which is directed by John Watts, Keaton gives off an old and weary empathy, as if to say, been there, done that, flown here, whacked this, and believe me, kiddo, the buzz wears off pretty soon. Good luck spinning cobwebs for a living. You'll probably wind up like me, collecting scrap. That's why the movie's most effective scene contains no special effects. It consists of tombs, framed mostly in close-up, giving a ride to Peter, who sits in the back, glancing at him in the rearview mirror, and asking him politely about his plans. At the start of the short journey, Toombs doesn't know the true identity of his passenger. By the end, he knows. There are no blurted confessions, no threats. Faces alone tell the tale. What any superhero film needs, you might argue, is not a magic spider bite or a dose of atomic irradiation, but the gift of time. Actually, being a superhero is a kinetic, but somewhat formulaic existence, coolly accoutred yet perilously friendless, hence the desperate air of multiple playdates that wafts through the Avengers saga, and ever dependent on a steady supply of baddies. But having once been a superhero or, at the other end of age, yearning to be one, but finding yourself thwarted to the predicaments that, despite the daftness of the genre, seem touched with human frailty and interest, and they explain the minor charm of Watts' film. Some viewers warmed to the Wasia's pose of Deadpool, but its blend of the cynical and the savage struck me as deeply unappetizing, whereas the spectacle of Spider-Man trying out a dummy voice on a low-grade crook who kindly offers him some free advice, saying, "You've got to get better at that part of the job," retains a welcome touch of innocence. More memorable still is the wide shot of our hero, clad in scarlet and perched as lonely as a robin on the front of a train as it clatters through the city, texting as he goes. The fate of the planet, thank heaven, is not his concern. He just wants to grow up. Is its footing. Watts has a poppy visual sense and a firm command of the frame. One sequence, wherein an injured and demoralized Peter must extricate himself from a pile of rubble, is a loving homage to a famous sequence of Steve Ditko panels from Amazing Spider-Man No. 33, published 51 years ago. Homecoming is the kind of winning film that could set him up for another half-century. Or at least until Holland is a washed-up 27-year-old.